All right, last part I want to go over is just a couple example problems for you guys. So this one is number 5 in your homework packet. So it says a jump rope is shaken, producing a wave with a wavelength of 0.5 meters, with the crest of the wave passing a certain point 4 times per every second. Okay, since they're telling you that that is 4 times, that's the number of cycles per second. So that's your time frame. So that's going to be your frequency, because remember, your frequency is the number of crests in a certain amount in the total time. I want to solve for the velocity. So if I look at my givens, I have my wavelength. Remember, my wavelength is that upside down y, or the Greek letter lambda, and it is 0.5 meters. And then my frequency is that 4 hertz, so that number of cycles divided by the total time. And I am looking for the velocity. Okay, so I'm going to use that equation for velocity that we went over earlier, and it is V equals F lambda, so the frequency times the wavelength. Since it's already solved for velocity and I'm solving for that, I do not have to manipulate the equation, so I can plug it in and solve. So 4 times 5, okay, gives me 2 meters per second, and that's my answer. Okay, so the problems are pretty simple. Pay attention to what they give you. For example, like on a problem like this, if they would have said the amplitude is 2 meters, unless they're asking for the energy of the wave, the amplitude doesn't matter. So don't let that confuse you. I know there's one of your homework problems where they do that, so be careful with that. All right, the next one is number 6. So you have a wave that has a period of 6 seconds, and I want to know what the frequency is. So if I look at my givens, the only thing I'm given is the period, which remember, period is represented by the capital letter T. So my period is 6 seconds, and I'm looking for the frequency. If you look back in your equations, you'll see that the period is equal to 1 over the frequency. Again, the variable, you can use that equation, or you can use the equation frequency equals 1 over t. So remember, those two are always inverses. Since I'm actually looking for frequency, I want to use the frequency one, not the one that says period. And then I just plug it in, 1 divided by 6, which gives me an answer of 0.167 hertz, or you can round that off to 0.17 hertz. Remember, hertz is represented by a capital H, lowercase z. So as you're going through the homework problems, just remember, make sure you look at it, go through them. They should be pretty simple for you. A couple of them you may have to manipulate. So like number 1, they're asking for you to solve for the wavelength, that upside down y, that lambda. So make sure you solve for that. Rearrange your equation. Make sure you use the guess equation method. And then like on number 10, okay, again, they're telling you the period. So make sure you find the frequency from that first. So that's a 2-step problem. That amplitude is irrelevant. Okay, so don't let that trip you up. The amplitude is just so that way you can graph it. So just go through it, read the questions. If you all have questions about anything, I'll go over them when I see you guys next week on Tuesday. Be starting your instrument projects. Look at the rubric that's online. Again, feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to talk about any questions that you guys have.